welcome to this week's Afterbrews. This episode is sponsored by TREK CBD in Wake Forest. Check them out at trekcbd.com and hosted by Ryan Smeltz and Devin Vincent. Our guest this week is Paul Roberts, who is starting a new business called Crushr Raleigh.
So the prospecting stuff is what really intrigued me, but we can talk about the beards too. So, or the bees.
Or the bread.
I know I've had some of your cinnamon rolls, so I'm kind of curious how cinnamon rolls turn into sourdough bread, but I'm also curious because me personally, I'm not allergic to bees. I've been stung by bees.
You like honey?
I'm not going to be a beekeeper. I do like honey.
No, there you
I'm never going to keep bees.
Yeah.
So I'm
Never going to keep bees.
I'm curious. Did I say it right?
Well, yeah. Why? What makes you not want to keep bees?
Yeah, why would you not?
I mean, that's like snakes. Like, I'm not terrified of snakes. You know, I've been around them. I've touched them. I had a buddy that had like a boa constrictor, I think. He put it around his neck. I walked up. I touched it. I'm not going to put one in my house. Just not going to do that. So
Well,
I'm
but
curious
Jake the
what
snake
made
thing.
you, like,
Oh,
this is a good idea.
look, man. Oh, look, man.
He's like, I don't have to justify my beekeeping to you. Where do you get off talking about my beekeeping?
If I want to live on a farm and just have animals
Yeah.
and just to watch them make more animals.
Yeah.
You know, I like I said, I grew up on a peach farm, so we had they raised pigs, they raised cows, chickens. I mean, I had all kinds of stuff. I love being outdoors, love animals. I just love that. So, but bees are vital, and bees aren't the only pollinators, and there's actually better pollinators than honeybees, but honeybees are what's known because they make honey.
All right.
It's just, you know, it's a hobby, and they're neat. They're one of the most efficient. They're probably the most efficient living thing on this earth. It's just neat to have them and watch them operate and what they do.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating, but you know, to me it was something new to learn that interested me, and second, it was I think it was a challenge because having bees ain't easy. Yeah. And
Well, I mean, I guess it's just ignorance on my part because I don't know that much about the industry. But what exactly do you do? Like what else do you do other than just like keep them? I guess.
you know, there's
That's a good question.
Yeah,
That's a
like
good question.
I mean,
Like,
just from an
you have
outside,
to feed
on
and
outside
water them, and then you have to take them out. And now you got to house train them. And it's like golly, man. And there's 47,000 of them, so it's like, oh yeah, I got to get home.
So you know, I caught mine, and they were actually a small swarm, and it was May, so it was a little bit on the late end. But yeah, I had to feed them and put them. You want to be like. I want some honey from them, but not by any means do I want to start selling honey or wax candles or anything. Like I want some honey for us because of the allergies. And
yeah, so that's really a thing. So like having local honey is good for your allergies.
Yes, yeah, and eating the comb if you get a chance, and then they have propolis, which has a lot of good homeopathic values to it, but probably not a word. But anyway. I just want to be a good steward, to the bees. Yeah. You know, I want to have a couple hives.
Yeah.
Let them have a good time. Let them make more bees that go off and make colonies out in the wild. You know. Yeah. Just to have me. I just want to have them.
So how far are you right now? You said you want to have a couple hives.
I got 2. They swarmed on me, and I caught them, and so I got 2. And then they swarmed 2 more times, and I had a friend beekeeper come and catch the other 2 swarms. There's a lot to learn, Ryan.
There definitely is a lot to learn. I've never thought about all that. It's like when you think beekeeping, like you don't think about all the challenges that go into it. Like you just there's not that much known about that industry, I guess.
So I definitely don't want to disappoint people. I also don't want to alienate you, but I feel like the beard conversation is pretty short. Unlike my beard.
All right.
So mine is I was in the Army for 10 years. Because of probably my genetics. I had to shave twice a day, every day, no matter what. Because the wording in the Army is that you have to be clean shaven, not that you have to shave. So the Army has literally never told me to shave. They just told me that I had to be clean shaven. You see how that works? So most of the time I was in, I had to shave twice a day because by 12 o'clock I had a 5 o'clock shadow. And then I stopped. And then this is the result. So people are like, oh, how do you grow such a great beard? And I know there's products out there. I don't use any of them.
So what you're saying is growing a beard is not as intricate as keeping bees.
It is. It's very, it requires, on my part, it required a lot of patience. Because I had to shave twice a day, every day for 10 years. And then stop. So it took me 10 years to do this.
Gotcha.
In my opinion.
People say, "Oh man, how'd you grow that beard?" And I'm like, "It's easy.
Stop shaving.
Quit shaving."
Yeah.
Just buy any more razors.
Hashtag no shave never.
No shit. That's pretty good.
And but that's it. Mine was, my wife, my poor wife. She's seen me through shaved head, mohawks, goatees, clean shaven, all kinds of stuff.
You said wife, right?
Yeah.
Not ex-wife?
No, wife.
Okay.
Wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So May 17th, 2008, I have been clean shaven once since May 17th, 2008.
Wow.
Once.
Now, what's your wife's preference? Like, what is her preference?
Oh,
like, I mean, through all the different transitions, like, what was her
So
preference?
when I did shave it all off, first it startled her a little bit. And then my daughter wouldn't come to me she was, golly, how old was she? 3 at the time, somewhere around 3. Wouldn't come to me for a whole day, cried. And then the next day, she's like, I like you without a beard. And I'm like, shh, don't tell Mom. Don't tell nobody that. She prefers it to be kept up and clean and close.
Well, on that thread, Ryan likes to eat cheeseburgers, and he has a beard. So, I mean, how is the whole keeping it clean while you're eating thing go? Or is it just kind of, do what you do?
Ours are both really thick, so when stuff falls on it, you just give it one of these, and it just rolls, I mean.
There are 37 different compartments in here.
Yeah.
And that's for different meal times, different snacks. Like,
you ever store anything in yours? Like, you got like a little cheeseburger hanging out.
That's
You're like,
what the
I'll get to that
compartments are
later.
for.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Do you know how many times my beard has gotten a lot? I have not trimmed it up. I haven't touched my beard with anything sharp since I became a house husband when COVID started. And the amount of coffee that I spill on my shirts has decreased even more since it's gotten longer.
Nice.
The coffee hits the beard
Yeah.
and get on my clothes.
Yeah.
But here's the great thing about beards, right? So I was a wildland firefighter, and everyone's like, oh my God, wasn't that hot? I'm like, no, it's actually really cool. Beards in the wintertime are like heaters. They keep you warm. In the summertime, if you spray some water and get them wet, they're like evaporators in a refrigerator. So a refrigerator has Freon. We don't have Freon in ours, but it's air over, so you get it wet and it's like cools you off. So in a wildland firefighter, when we got close to the fire, my face would never get hot. Other people would have to do this when they get close to the fire when they're working and burn their face. But with the beard, it was protective.
Yes. These are the questions, guys. These are the questions, because I've never had a beard like that, so I've always wondered. Learning a lot about you, Ron. Your 37 compartments. Learning a lot, buddy.
So one of the other ones is obviously with us doing a lot of meetings virtually. We're on Zoom a lot. I do have to wear a suit and tie for what I do often, at least for a lot of the meetings. And I don't really have to worry about, single or double Windsor or
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
buttoning
it.
that top button on a button-up shirt that
Yeah, but I mean, I think
haven't
I
worn
think
for 5 years.
you know,
So I'm not sure I can anymore, but it doesn't matter because you can't see it.
Oh, that's true. But I mean, I think ties are almost a thing of the past. Almost, it feels like. I mean, everybody does the. I mean, if you do a suit, you kind of do the suit with the top button unbutton kind of deal. Is that kind of what you're saying? That's what I've seen recently. I almost never wear a tie.
I mean,
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from a style standpoint, but from like a three-piece or business professional standpoint, I feel like the tie has to be there.
You think so? I think it's almost becoming a thing of the past. Almost, I think.
I've got a specific. Look at this.
Look at that!
1, 2, 3.
Beer me!
I'm afraid to open it.
We're still recording, right?
Yeah. You put any CBD oil in that thing?
So I do actually. The first CBD store we interviewed, which was actually, I think.
You're not allowed to name drop the store anymore.
Well, I think everything we put up was about hemp.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, obviously the struggle that Nick and Scott talked about with TREK CBD was being allowed to include the letters CBD on their sign and in their name and on certain places. But the first time we met Diane, I said, "Oh, hey, you should." I looked through the whole store and I said, "You should have some beard oil." And she was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Whatever. Other people have told me. I've thought about it. Blah blah blah." We went back over there to do the show, and she was like, "Here you go."
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much only use it like on date night or, for, I think maybe my birthday, maybe.
So
I only
used it
use
the
it on
other day.
occasion like cologne, So
Yeah.
I still have it, and it's got a really good scent to it. I actually don't use beard oil that much overall. It does make it look real sleek and everything, but if it gets dry and itchy, I use aloe. But that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Little water and once in a while a mirror to make sure I don't have any egg yolk in there. I can normally just look down and be like, "Oh, yep,
Oh, there it is.
yep."
There it is.
Gotta wipe that out. A couple
Right.
extra napkins in the glove box.
There we go.
He gets it.
Yeah. I feel like the minority here. In the minority.
I
So
want
with
to pull
the-
that. I want to pull that statement out and put it at the very beginning of everything, like the entire episode.
That would be pretty good. Actually.
And then Gavin said,
Then he said
"That was
it's like that's like 101. Gavin just says whatever just comes to his head. Yeah.
So I feel like the beard is in part why we started this show because, when he came to me with the idea, he called me up. He was like, "What do you think about this?" I was like, "Well," my initial reaction was, "Well, let's get together and talk about it." So he came over to the warehouse, but he was like, we should hold
Did
this.
Did he put you to work when you came to the warehouse? Did you get sit in the office?
I got to sit in the office,
Did he
man.
make you coffee?
He did make me
There
coffee.
we go. Yeah.
Is that how you do all of your dates, Ryan?
Except I had to dig through dusty books.
Okay, yeah.
Well, thanks to you, they were finished by the time he showed
Yeah,
up.
we did a lot.
Thanks for doing the
I
heavy lifting,
learned-
Paul.
I learned a lot about book barcodes too.
Yeah, there you go.
But to me, that was great. That was information I never would have learned had I not been there.
That's right, man. Sharpening the tools.
There you go.
Sharpening the tools,
It was a
man.
little uncalled for, but we got it done. But he came over and he was like, "Yeah, so I think we should do this because we're so different."
Yeah.
He's in one industry, I'm in another industry. He's clean shaven, I have a beard. I have a much higher tendency to, you tell me to go dig a ditch, I'm going to be digging it, looking for a shovel. With my hands, "Hey, go get me a shovel." And he's going to be sitting down with like a pen and paper writing out a plan how to buy a shovel.
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty accurate. That's pretty
Yeah.
accurate. Yeah.
So because we are opposites, I tell everyone the short version of that story is I have a beard and he doesn't.
This is true. This is
So
true.
he's like, we should do a show.
Yeah, but I
Here
thought
we
I was
are.
special because he made me coffee. But it turns out, not the only person he made coffee for. So
Well, you know, beards have been so. When Duck Dynasty came out, beards
Yeah.
started getting not just. I mean, through everything, and so I had my beard and long hair before Duck Dynasty ever come out. I mean, I had hair past my shoulders,
yeah.
big old curly hair. My wife, let me tell you how much she loved that too. Every time I go get it trimmed up, like I had long hair. Every time I go get it trimmed up, the stylist would just be like, "Oh my God, your hair's so thick and nice and pretty," and my wife like, "Quit telling him that."
You're stroking his ego. Stop it.
I mean, you know, I had it, and maybe at some point again in the future I'll grow my hair back out because it was pretty. But yeah, I mean, you know, when beards came in style, and then Duck Dynasty came, I was like, "Oh, Duck Dynasty," I was like, "Yeah, yep."
Well, I feel like it's kind of like secular because I mean, you know, you go back, ZZ Top had beards, and I mean that was kind of the thing back then.
Yeah,
right?
but it's made it in the mainstream here
That's
over
true,
the last
yeah.
few years. You know, banks and financial
Yeah,
folks,
that's true.
you know,
That's very true.
They've let them, and you know, when you're in sales. To me, it's about differentiating
Yeah.
how you talk, what you look like. You know, just who you are.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Well, I mean, it's just like the whole suit thing we just were talking about. If you notice, I mean, you have a lot of CEOs that are very casual now, like casually dressed. I mean, it used to be suit, tie was the way that everybody dressed it on the business. Now everybody, you know, you have jeans, you have, you know, T-shirts, you have, you know, kind of a myriad of things, you know, jeans and blazers and, you know, the full suit with no tie and, you know, it's a little bit of everything.
I never wore suits until May 2019.
Yeah.
And then working in the financial services industry, like I enjoyed wearing suit and tie. I enjoyed it. You know, it made me feel good. But I also enjoy wearing transition pants and cat tees.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, to me, it's change. It's just being who you are and changing you up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's being comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what the hell makes you comfortable?
Right.
Because if you go sit in front of somebody and you're over here doing this the whole time, I mean, I'm like, hey, what's he got something wrong? I mean, has he got fleas in his beard? I mean, so it's all about comfort. And how does it make you feel? Like when I put a suit and tie on, I mean, I like it. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. The comfort inspires confidence.
But I haven't been wearing it since I've been a house husband.
That would look a little weird. Well, I mean, or you could be like, hey, this is the transition from like going house husband to teacher. When I put this suit on, it's all business. You
Yeah,
guys-
my kids would be like, no. But the sad thing is, I don't even know if I fit in my suits anymore.
We call that the COVID-19.
You gotta understand, I'm a good cook. I cook every day.
Yes, yeah.
We got home cooked meals every day.
Yeah.
I've been trying to lose. I've been following this guy over here.
Yeah, running
every
5-6
morning.
miles every
Oh,
morning.
man. I just ordered 2 pairs of new headphones because my headphones quit, so I haven't been running.
You don't know.
I haven't run for like a week
Well,
or
you
so.
can run without the headphones.
See, that's
Sociopaths do that.
No. Because isn't it when you do the was it triathlon?
Can we turn his mic off?
You can. You're in charge. Remember, we talked about this. You can do whatever you want to do.
Finish your question.
No,
and
I
then
mean,
we'll
like
turn your
with
mic
the
off.
triathlon athletes, like they don't wear headphones. Like between, like you know, when they go running, biking, and swimming, like they don't wear headphones.
I don't understand the term "they."
They like as in athletes
Like
that actually
an
run.
Ironman is one thing I aspire to do right now. All
Yeah,
the running
well, there you go.
is for me to run 100-miler. Okay, so it's a 2-year plan. It's basically it was marathon 50 and then 100. Okay, but now it's I'm gonna throw a 100K or 50K in there somewhere because I talked to a guy who's done something similar and he recommended it and I was like, okay. So 2-year training plan. I've got it on my calendar at home, all laid out. Run this at in a third. So, with the exception of the different events, the distance is almost equivalent, comparable.
Yeah.
I wear headphones.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So I don't understand they. I don't
They.
know. I don't know if I could do that. I will tell you, running, listening to music and running.
Do you like put like the Rocky theme song on repeat, like when you run? Is that kind of how that goes, or?
I'll share my playlist with you.
Okay,
it's
please do.
pretty awesome.
I'm
it
very
motivates
interested.
me. I'll listen to it.
That might be the indication that you're a sociopath, depending on how this playlist plays out. We'll see what's on this playlist.
The goal
How
is
much Lady Gaga is on this playlist?
0.
Okay.
So
John Michael McDonald.
I will tell you, I've
Michael
solved,
Bublé. A little bit of Kenny G.
This is my jam, Kenny. I get 7-minute miles when Kenny comes on.
That's right, man.
Paul,
Inspired.
Paul, you have a lot more faith in me than I do. I told somebody, my accountability partner, like 2 weeks ago, like, I got to work on my sprints because that's what's going to make me faster. I hate sprints. I can't stand them. I can run forever. I can run all day forever, but I hate sprints. But anyways, I will tell you, like, even listening to music, like running, and I'm sure that's what people do when they run without headphones is they just think. Mm-hmm. And I have solved a lot of problems.
Yeah, there
running.
you go.
I've solved so many problems running,
Yeah.
and I'll go out. I was even thinking about, the problem with getting our messages when people call in with questions, and then how I'm going to take that audio and incorporate it into the program we use. And I've solved it. I solve it talking out loud to other people. I solve it running, thinking in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do any of that. I can't do it without music.
You can't do it. See, that's the thing. Like, I can't do it with music.
In the
like,
Army.
I have to, like, for me, like, if I want to really, I have to take 3 or 4 days out a week. I go to this one specific park, no headphone, no phone, and I just walk. And it's just something about being out in nature and just letting your mind actually just work.
I can support that, but that's because people walk all the time without headphones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not running.
So,
Same thing, just different pace.
Running without headphones.
I'm just saying, you can do it. I'm
what's
just saying,
funny,
it's not
though?
preferable.
I think I have a lot of influence on people, though, because I did say something to a friend one time who used to run without headphones a lot, and the very next day he had
Did you
headphones.
call them a sociopath too?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's probably what inspired them to get headphones.
They bought headphones right away. But the headphones I got, the last pair I had, they were $20. Probably had them for 2 years.
Are you part owner in a headphone company that I don't know about? Or is this...
Nope. Because I'm not even going to name drop because I don't care that much. But I found them again, and I got those, and then I got a 20% coupon or something, and then they had a used pair on there as well. So altogether, I got 2 more pair for $30.
But these are the ones that broke, right?
After 2 years.
Oh,
my
after
Beats
2
broke
years,
after like
okay.
6 months, and I paid $300 for those.
Well, stop beating the beats, man. Stop it.
No, it's because he sold out to Apple, but that's.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you have done the same thing with that amount of money?
Yes.
Okay, well, then there you go.
If
Sold out, cash out, same thing.
If I was Dre, I would have done the same thing. If I was Apple, I wouldn't have changed what he was doing to make a successful pair of headphones.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very
Okay.
true. Okay, all right. Thank you for the clarification. Sorry. Anyway, Paul, you're the guest, not Ryan. So let's talk about.
But him running is a big deal.
Apparently.
So I'm curious. You mentioned that you've started other businesses. Like what? Tell us a little bit about your journey so far. Like what have you done along your business ownership experiences?
So Crushr and then doing the financial stuff. Those were my first 2 real businesses.
Okay. What'd you do in the financial services industry? What'd you do in the financial services industry?
It was life insurance and then.
Okay.
Yeah, life insurance.
So Christine, yeah, okay, that's how you know Christine.
And then, yep. And when I worked with folks on financial planning, I worked with a couple agents that were in our region.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, so like they weren't businesses; they were side gigs.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess one of them was a business. I owned a self-serve car wash. So it was a car wash that this was in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
When you go up and you put quarters in, you wash your own car.
Yeah, but there's a lot of money in that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it is good. But you will not believe how pissed off somebody will get over 75-cent vacuum not working.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they'll tear your. Sorry if I can't cuss, but they will tear your shit up over 75 cents. So,
Well, Ryan said you could do whatever you want, so just let it go.
and then I got my general contractor's license when I was in South Carolina, and so I do some small jobs for friends and family and stuff like that. But it was really, I worked for one main guy, Brett. Spilling beer, man. See, if you had a beard, it wouldn't have made it there.
That's right. You're exactly right. You were inspiring me. So if I come back and we both have beards, how's this going to work out?
So that'd be wonderful.
In a week.
Not in a week. I'm just
Okay.
saying over
You
time.
grow
He said-
yours out, let
he
me
said-
know, and I'll come back on. We can spend 45 minutes talking about beards.
That's right.
Thank you. So I really, that was when I went to go work for Brett in 2014. That was the beginning of like who I am today and where I am
Right.
today. It was because I was a police officer. I was a department manager at Lowe's, and I was a wildland firefighter. And so, I had jobs.
Yeah.
And when I got there, just kind of being able to be mentored by him and seeing, that I didn't want to be his employee.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like I was wanting to. We moved up here. That was a big thing too. Of that, but I didn't want to be an employee anymore. I wanted to be in control of what I did on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Now, what's cool is he gave me that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I did facilities maintenance was the biggest job that I did for him. Physical therapy clinics. We had about 14, I think, when I left.
Mm-hmm.
So I did oversaw and/or did construction work when we a place just like this. We had clinics that were about this size, I guess.
But not
it's
this
about
nice.
1,200. Yeah, because I built them out. It was this nice. I did the.
I tried, Nick. I
It
tried.
was exactly like this.
Nick's in the background like, man, what do you do?
It was this nice. I didn't say it was nicer, but like
What are you
I've done the work.
I love it. I love it.
Check it out. But through that, I became, he came to me and says, I need you to be able to take care of our therapy pools. So I became a certified pool operator. So I could take care of pools. I was the pool boy. And
Nice.
then,
Did that come with a cabana?
no cabanas, but they were heated. They were 92 degrees and
Yeah.
big pools. And
Yeah.
so they're big old saunas. I got to test them out every now and again.
Yeah, that's good.
And then
Benefits.
came to me and said, I need you to run our ergonomics program. So I became a certified ergonomist and was doing industrial and office ergonomics for a couple years. So he gave me a lot of opportunities to build that toolbox and to learn and to create all these skills. And then, he empowered me to go off and make mistakes.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, so like having him, like you've actually mentioned this. You said that he was mentoring you without knowing that he was mentoring you. What was one of the biggest takeaways from that whole experience for you?
So he knew he was mentoring me, but because he was also my direct boss,
Right.
it was a little like mentors aren't there to, if you mess up, they're not there to, they're there to call you on it, but they're not there to give you a stern talking to.
Yeah.
Like if you messed up, but no, so there was it, but there was also stuff that I would just observed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all right. I'm sorry, and I got off on that talking about.
No, just I just was saying, what was the biggest takeaway? Like, what was the biggest thing that you took away from that
Oh
experience?
man, don't be
and working
scared
for him?
to f up.
Really?
And I go back to they'd say, just try it. If you mess it up, we'll pay somebody to fix it. Well, I messed up a lot.
Yeah.
But I fix my own mistakes. So, I'm one of these people very hands-on. And in the construction world, when you mess up, like you mess up, if you mess up down here, you might not know until you get way down here at the end. And that could be hours and days of work. but I messed up, but I was able to fix it.
Right.
And the reason and what's important about that is that before I went to work with him, I wanted to be a perfectionist. When I messed up, it just completely took me out of who I was. I mean, it didn't devastate me, which is crazy. I grew up in sports, messing up all the time.
Right.
But I wanted to be a perfectionist, and when I did mess up, you start to get that psychological effect. So it got me out of that about not being perfect. But when you mess up, how do you fix it?
Right.
And that's the learning part.
Exactly. That's the valuable part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that I learned how to do the task that I was doing.
Right.
It was that, I could figure it out. And that's, you start to learn kind of what your superpowers are. And that's one of mine. I mean, I'm not afraid now to just do stuff and mess up because I know that I'm going to figure out how to get it done right.
Yeah.
Before, I would just, I would always do it, but when I mess up, I wouldn't, and blah, blah, blah. Now I just do until we figure out, because it's a bunch of little things, the Charles Darwin thing, it's a bunch of little things that create that end goal. For me, that's who I am. Like, I'll mess up a bunch cooking bread before now I can go cook a loaf of bread and it's beautiful every time.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? Is it, professional? No. But nobody else knows that unless they're a professional bed breaker.
But
Bread
but
baker.
it's edible.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, really good. So it's just being able to go out,
Yeah.
mess it up until you get it right.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's what you get into as employee sides. People aren't given the opportunity to mess up.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just just like you said, it's just that fear of failing, but that's the part that you actually learned from. You know what I mean? Like that making the mistake and actually being able to fix it. That's where the actual learning comes from.
I feel like Nick, our producer, is just going to get beer for us the rest of the night.
Yeah.
At least till we're out.
Well, he's on his third one, so he might drop
Somebody-
that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody-
He'll fail on camera. Yeah.
Somebody, if not several people here, played sports in their lifetime, and I did play baseball. Well, actually, okay, so I guess that's a bad analogy because I did play baseball for 9 years, but I like to tell people the story of the time me and my dad were practicing in the backyard, and I caught a ball in the eye. Not uncommon. If you play baseball for any amount of time, you're going to catch a ball in the eye.
Yeah.
I never did.
So he comes up, he passed me on the shoulder, it'll be all right. Let's go inside, put ice on it, whatever. Mom gets home. What did you do to my baby boy? Okay. So me, tough it out, I don't remember how old I was, maybe like 10 or something. Next day, backyard, caught another ball in the eye. So that's why I don't trust myself to catch things.
No comment. Yeah. No comment.
So Paul,
We're gonna keep
I
it
feel-
PG. We're gonna keep it PG.
So Paul, I feel like a lot of what you were just talking about plays into a management role, and I've talked to people not just here but all over, small business owners having trouble not just with the hiring and the coaching and training perspective, but also a retention aspect when it comes to employees. And I feel like what you were saying, that guy, the opportunity he was giving you, the empowerment he was giving you, plays into like a management role where if I take on my employees and I say, okay, look, this is how it's done, but if I give you the freedom, to kind of venture out, make adjustments, make changes, whatever, it's going to do one of two things. It's going to make you fail or it's going to make you successful. And if you feel like you failed, that gives you an opportunity to take a step back and learn from that experience. Mm-hmm. And if it makes you successful, then everybody wins. And I feel like a lot of, I'm thinking of names specifically in my head, but they're struggling with the management. They're struggling with the retention because they're not providing that same opportunity.
It's yeah. I mean, it's difficult. You have to be empathetic, and if somebody built a business from the ground up, and they did everything, it's difficult for those folks sometimes to relinquish a job and not micromanage. And there's a difference between micromanaging and being a part of that employee's daily activities. But I mean, it really comes down to empathy, is what it comes down to, because you've got to be able to walk a step in their shoes and understand that you even though you might be the smartest person in the room, they also have good ideas. They also might have something that could help. And because the way you did things 10 years ago when you started this business doesn't mean that they still work. And that's what you see. I mean, you see businesses that really do well, and then over time they don't change with the times. They don't change how they prospect. They don't change what their message is. They don't change their product, whatever it may be. And then they fizzle out because, especially now with technology, I mean, things change monthly. With technology.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're not willing to listen to the 22-year-old who just graduated college because they're 22 and they hadn't been in this industry for 20 years, then you might be missing out on somebody that gives you the next big thing, because they know it's technology. I mean, they know what's at the forefront right now. The boomers and the Gen Xers and those folks, TikTok to them, they don't
they don't get it.
The kids are going to know about it way before it gets big. So I mean, it's being empathetic. It's taking the management. You have to hire people that can work for you, is what it comes down to. So you can't, I would not work well with a micromanager who was asking me questions, all the time, because I'm trying a bunch of little different things that probably aren't working. So it's just part of you. If you're doing the hiring, you have to know who you work well with, because they're as much your partner as they are your employee.
It's true.
If you want them to be successful.
I think at the end of the day, one thing I look for is another me, I like to say, because when I pick up a task, I feel like I move so quickly. I'll get stuck sometimes thinking about things, like figuring out what's the process or something like that. But getting to this point with the podcast, getting to, out the gate when we started this thing, we were video and audio on every major platform from day one. So that's an example of me, how can I move as quickly as possible? And that's what I mean by finding someone like me. If I'm going to hire someone for a job or a position, I want to find somebody like me, and I want them to have that freedom. I don't want them to have limitations, because if I'm older and I'm losing touch with the things that increase that speed, that efficiency, that velocity, things that make the overall process better, and they have their ear to the ground on that, and they're younger than me, college degree, no college degree, whatever the case may be, I want to give them the same freedom that I have as the business owner or the person that hired them, so that I can see results from that type of stuff. And I agree with you. I don't think that micromanaging and acting like I know more is conducive to that type of environment.
Well, I think when you are the owner of the company, you get, when you start off, maybe you're doing everything, right? But your job is whatever your goal is for that business. Is it to grow it and sell it? Is it to grow it to this amount of money so I can work 10 hours a week and spend the rest with my family or whatever? Is it to grow it and sell it to start another one? Whatever your goal is for that is what you have to hire people to do all the other stuff that doesn't pertain to that. And so, I think that the biggest thing that you can do is understand what you're good at and what your goal of the business is, and then hire people to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
And if technology just isn't your thing, or if that's not what's going to take the business, you're not going to achieve that goal of the business, then you hire somebody to fill that void. And maybe you like the technology, but maybe that's not what's going to get the business there. Maybe it's you going out and getting high profile guests and going out and whatever that is. You just have to, whatever your role is to make the business successful is what you have to do, and part of that is hiring the people, the stuff that you're not good at or doesn't lead directly to that goal.
Yeah, I dig it. Good on
Okay, Ryan.
You like it?
He said, I dig it.
I dig it.
That's my line.